Hi, in this video we're going to discuss some of the things we really like about the Shark Apex vacuum. Now, first a bit of an introduction. There are 4 models of Shark Apex. There is 1 compact model and 3 full-size models. The compact unit is known as the AX912, and indeed it is a little bit more compact, and it weighs 1.5 pounds less than the other 3. The other 3 are the AX950, the AX951, and the AX952. And they're predominantly differentiated by the tools that you get with the machine. This is the AX952, and this is what you get. We've got the 4 tools laid out here, and we'll talk about them just briefly. We've got the mini motorized pet tool here. It's a bit of a hefty tool. It's got a motor in it, and stiff bristled brush roll here. This one's kind of unique in that it can actually fit on board the vacuum, and that's something we'll show you a little later. It's good for pet hair, it's good for doing a set of stairs, it's good for upholstery. We've got an anti-allergen dusting brush here. It's got these very fine nylon bristles. It's good for picking up fine dust and particles from all sorts of different surfaces. This is what they're calling the pet multi-tool. Stiff bristled brush roll here, and that pops right off, and you've got an upholstery tool here, and it can just click right back on. Fairly generic combo crevice tool dusting brush here. Now, Shark are good enough to provide an accessory bag, so all of that fits in there, and that's kind of handy. So one of the first things we really like about this machine is the fact that it comes with something called DuoClean technology, and we'll show you that. DuoClean technology, the first time we saw it, even heard about it, we thought, okay, this is a little odd. I'm not sure if this is a gimmick or not, but we've run a lot of machines with it, and it tends to do a pretty good job on both carpet and bare floors. Now, here you can see we've got the 2 brush rolls, and that is DuoClean technology. You've got your typical stiff bristled brush roll in the center of the cleaner head, like you see on most uprights, but you've also got this really soft one at the front, and both are turning when the vacuum's on. The idea behind this brush roll here is that it has the ability to pick up like stuck-on dust on hard surfaces. It's also fairly good at pulling up or picking up large debris. Some other nozzles may snowplow stuff around, where here the debris runs directly into this and gets picked up. Now, we've got a couple of videos we want to cut in here and show how this unit performs against a few others in terms of large debris pickup. First, we're going to look at how it does on low pile carpet. Then we'll see how it performs on tile surface. There's a lot of talk about how DuoClean technology is great on larger debris. Now, what we've got here is the AX952 and the Shark NV752. Now the 752, again, is a similar machine to the Apex, but it does not have DuoClean technology. So what we've got here is fairly large Fruit Loops. We've put a little bundle in front of each machine, and we'll see how they perform. We actually haven't done this test before, so it'll be interesting. My guess is that the NV752 will do okay, but it'll take maybe a few more passes to get this up, but let's see what happens. We'll start with the NV752. Both machines are in low pile carpet mode. Okay, did have to kind of push it up and over that stuff. We've got one little piece left behind here, but not bad under the circumstances. Okay, let's see how we do with the AX952. Okay, absolutely nothing left behind. Picked it up pretty well. So, overall, I'd have to say this, yes, it does a better job and picks it up well. The NV752, on the other hand, still does a pretty good job, given that it doesn't have the DuoClean technology. Now we've also noticed that picking up large debris can be particularly tricky on a hard surface, and here we've got a hard tile. The debris is easily pushed forward. It kind of slides along here, as opposed to the carpet where it kind of digs in. It's easier for the vacuum head to come over the top. Now, what we're going to show you here is a difference between the Dyson Ball Animal 2 here and the Shark Apex. Now, the Ball Animal 2 has something called an active base plate, and that tends to clamp down and lower on smooth surfaces, and that makes it particularly tricky to get up large debris. Now again, we haven't done this test yet. This will be the first time, and let's see what happens. First, we're going to run the Dyson. So you can see some of the difficulties this unit has. The Fruit Loops in this case are easily pushed forward, and this nozzle has a hard time getting over top of them. So let's see how we do with the Apex now, and this is in hard floor mode. Now that's it. There's nothing behind the vacuum, and there's nothing in front of the vacuum, so it picks up everything quite easily. We just wanted to highlight that the brush roll speed here is controlled on the handle. There are actually 3 settings. The bottom setting is hard floor, and these brush rolls are both spinning fairly slow in that mode. And you can step this up one. That's low pile mode, and they spin a little bit faster. The very top, that is thick carpet / area rug mode, and that's when they're spinning the fastest. Also, as you move up, there is a suction release valve here that we can actually hear opening a little bit, so that's kind of lessens some of the suction underneath the nozzle, which helps the machine continue to move, especially when you get into something like thick pile carpet. Now we've got a couple of videos here of this DuoClean technology working on carpet and bare floors with the debris field, and we want to show you that now. Okay, so we just wanted to show the machine's performance on carpet. We've got a pretty ugly looking debris field here. We've got the large Cheerios, a bunch of dust bunnies, a bit of dog hair, quite a bit of fine dust, and even some lentils and the like. We'll have the machine on low pile carpet mode. That means the brush rolls are spinning at an average speed. And let's see how it does. Well, yeah, looking pretty good. Now I've taken that same mess of debris and put it onto hard tile. We're going to run the machine in hard floor mode, and that means that the brush rolls will be spinning slowly. Now we shouldn't get scatter, but let's just see how it works. We don't even need to go over it a second time. It's looking pretty good. We were a little concerned that this DuoClean technology may make it difficult for the machine to move in a very deep pile carpet like this. And in addition, if we can move it, will it deal with a debris field like this? We've got some large debris, some smaller stuff, and some dark dust that we've poured into this carpet. So let's see how this performs, and if indeed it moves at all. We've got this in deep carpet mode. So the first thing we notice is, yes, you can actually move the machine in this, which is a good thing. Now let's see about its cleaning prowess. Okay, well, in terms of getting up all the loose debris, yeah, no issue. It actually pulled up everything. We still see a bit of a dust in here, but I don't know that any machine would necessarily pull that up. Also, frankly, we're a little bit surprised it moved as easily as it did in this kind of carpet, so that's all fairly good. We like how easy it is to access the brush roll on this vacuum. Sometimes your brush roll can get hair and string tied around it, and you need to get in there and pull that stuff out, or even cut it off sometimes. So with this vacuum, it actually has two sliders on the sides here, and they're labeled Access Brush Roll. If we push those open, this little top piece comes on. I think they call this the brush roll garage. Now you can see you can access the whole top side of the stiff brush roll here, and it's also accessible from underneath, so you have access from both sides. It's very easy to get in here and clean anything out. Now you've also got this soft brush roll here. This one just comes off like very easily. It's got a little kind of a switch here. You can see you pull that out, brush roll comes right off. You can then remove anything tangled around it. In addition, you can rinse this in water, and of course wait till it's completely dry and put it back on. Now, let's see if I can get this back on. It's quite easy, really, but probably can't do it with one hand. Okay, that's it. That's back on. Let's put the brush roll garage door on. Again, this is generally pretty straightforward. There you go. So very easy to access these two brush rolls and make sure they're clean and operating well. We really like how maneuverable the head of the AX952 is. This machine has swivel steering, and you can really feel it. With just a twist of your wrist, this whole head turns. Now we'll show you that right now. Okay, let's turn it on. Okay, you can see I'm just turning my wrist. It's really easy to turn corners with this thing. And that's great. It's really helpful. Now we've got the other vacuum here. This is the Bissell 1819. The idea behind having that here is this is a machine. It's a little less expensive for sure, but it does not have any kind of swivel steering, and it can be a bit awkward to turn. You've got to turn the whole vacuum as opposed to just twisting your wrist. So here we go. Let's try this guy out. I'll show you what we mean here. Now if I want to turn this thing, the wrist is not going to do anything. You're turning your whole arm to get it to go where you want to go. So it's a little more of a chore, and it kind of highlights the advantages of the swivel steering that we see on the Apex. We really like that the Apex is a fairly quiet vacuum. We've tested it against several other machines, and here we're testing against the NV752, and at the end over here is the Dyson Ball Animal 2. Now we're not going to run that test right now. It's a little bit time consuming, and we've done the test and we've recorded the results, and we'll talk through that in a second. We have what is a sound meter here. It's set up 3 feet away from the vacuum. Each vacuum was placed in the middle to make sure it's the same distance from the sound meter. The vacuum was turned on and the brush roll was engaged, and we recorded the maximum decibel output. Now with the Dyson Ball Animal 2, we got 78.7 decibels. With the Shark NV752, we got 75.2 decibels. And with the Shark Apex, we got 72.5. So it was indeed the quietest of the bunch. And you can tell when you're vacuuming with this machine, it's fairly quiet. We like that the apex has good filtration that's relatively easy to maintain. Now, it has something called complete seal anti-allergen technology. That's what Shark calls it. What that really means is you've basically got a HEPA filter and a sealed system. Now, let's talk about filtration. Now, we've got 3 filters in this machine, 2 pre-motor filters and 1 post-motor filter. They're all easy to access and they're all rinsable in water. Let's take a look at the pre-motor filters. There we go. We take the dust canister off. And as you can see, this one could actually use a little bit of cleaning. This is a sponge filter. Easy to come off, easy to clean, put back in. There's a felt filter underneath that. Again, that can be rinsed, put back in the machine when it's dry. These typically need to be done, I don't know, maybe about every 3 months or so, I think, with standard use. As you can tell, we've been using this machine. So now you've got the post-motor filter, which happens to be your HEPA filter. That's in here. Again, easy to access. A little latch here. Goes up. It's a pleated filter. There you go. And this too can be rinsed, typically only about once a year. Putting it all back together is fairly straightforward. Should click into place. Now, they also talk about this complete seal technology, and what that means is all the air entering the vacuum doesn't leak out in poor seals or cracks or joints in the body before it's passed through those filters and exhausted from the vacuum. So you don't have unfiltered air coming back into your room. Anything going into the vacuum is forced through those filters before it comes out. That makes sure you've got basically clean air being exhausted back into your room, and that's a great feature. We like that the vacuum comes with a motorized pet hair tool. Now, this is an example of a non-motorized tool. This one does not come with this machine, it's from somewhere else. We find that the motorized tool does a great job at pulling up pet hair, and also the brush roll doesn't get bogged down as easily as it does with a non-motorized tool. Now, we'll have a video we'll show in a little bit that actually compares the performance of these two tools. Now, the other thing that we like about this unit is that Shark has figured out how to allow it to store on board the vacuum, and they do that by kind of enabling this thing to contort a little bit. It's got like a slider on the top, and that turns this way. Now, you can see we can mount this. Where is it? Yeah. Let's try this. There we go. It mounts. It kind of locks in too. So that gets carried around with you when you're vacuuming. You don't have to run off to the cupboard or the closet or whatever to get it. Now, there's a button, a red button up here. Here we are. I can click on that, and it comes right off. And let's see, pull that. It snaps right into place again. So it's it's fairly unique, and it works well. So what we've got here is white dog hair, and it's been ground into what is a medium pile carpet. We've jumped up and down on this and tried everything we could to grind it into the carpet. Now, we're going to run, actually, another Shark machine, the NV801, with a non-powered pet tool. See how that performed. Then we'll move on to the Apex with its powered tool. So first, let's see how this does. Okay. Well, we can see that it got everything, but it was definitely slowing at the end. You may have even heard that. You can see it's quite clogged up here, and from experience, I know we'd have to pull this thing apart, get a lot of the pet hair out before you could continue running it. So now let's see how the Apex motorized tool does. Okay, we've got the same setup here. Now we're going to run the Shark Apex, and we use the motorized pet tool. Let's see how it does. Okay. Again, a good job. Fairly clogged up, but it didn't slow. The brush roll did not slow, so you could continue cleaning with this for a while yet, unlike with the non-motorized tool, which you'd have to clean almost right away after an exercise like this. Shark has also provided LED headlights in the nozzle and in the handle of the vacuum. We've got two LED headlights here, and they're on when the vacuum's on. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. You know, it's not something all vacuums have. It's not critical either, but sometimes when you're in a dark area or into a corner, it is handy. Now, Shark went a step further, and they provided an LED light in the handle. If you're working into a corner or an area, it's kind of a nice little feature. Let's see how that works. A nice touch. We're also fairly impressed with the versatility of the machine. You have an upright, so you can go ahead and do your upright cleaning with this vacuum. You've got your hose and your handle. You've got power at the end of the handle here, so if you wanted to put a power tool on the end of it, that works fine. You can also do overhead cleaning. This wand, this wand comes off. Now we've got power to the end of the wand. Don't necessarily need it for a tool like this, but you could do overhead cleaning with this thing. In addition, the vacuum has something called lift-away technology, and we have a video that shows how we work with that. The AX952 has something called powered lift-away mode. And what that allows you to do is to take the dust canister motor assembly off the vacuum, carry it in one hand while you have the hose and or wand with a tool on the end, and you can walk around using it like that. Now, you still are tethered by this obviously the power cord, so it's not quite like having a cordless, but it does give you a certain amount of mobility that you won't get from the upright alone. Now, this is called powered lift away because you actually get power to the end of the handle and all the way to the end of the wand. So you can put a power tool in the end of that. And we'll show you how it all works right now. So to take off the lift away, or the pod they call it, you press the big button here. Let's do that from here. There we go. And we want to start, we'll remove the handle. Now you can see there are power inputs here for a power tool. And interestingly enough, we do have a power tool. It's a pet tool, and in this case it actually sits on board the vacuum. It's got a little button here that allows us to remove it from the pod. Lo and behold. Now they've got it kind of packaged up here so that it fits on the vacuum. You can, where is it? There's a little, here we go, a rotate button. Puts that into the right kind of configuration to put on the end of the hose. And I'll show you how that works. Quite handy. Say you wanted to do a couch or something. Now we can also put this on, and we can attach the wand. There it is. So you can put the tool on the end of the wand. There we go. This is also powered. So that's powered lift away mode. It's quite a popular feature, and it does work well. Finally, we like that Shark has provided a 30-foot power cord. It's nice, you can get around the room, you don't have to be constantly hunting for a power outlet. We also like the 7-year manufacturer's warranty. It's a little more lengthy than you find with some other manufacturers. Now, like all vacuum cleaners, the Apex isn't perfect. And we have another video where we discuss some of the things we dislike about this machine. Thanks very much for watching.